Hey, Dr. Carlo here. I want to unpack in this video the creative competitive duality of mindset a little deeper than I did in the previous video. So if you'll recall from that video, and you probably don't recall, so I'm going to put that up for you right now. We discussed at length the creative competitive mindset, and it's this duality of the human mind. So again, the competitive mindset is someone who is reactive versus someone who is strategic. The competitive mindset makes mistakes, and the creative mindset is more intentional. The competitive mindset is based around scarcity and what other people think, and the creative mindset is thinking abundance and thinking about living to my potential versus what other people think. So that's great and all if you understand the competitive and creative sides, and you can start to pay attention to your own how you're behaving, what your behaviors are like, to see and notice trends of when do I become competitive versus when am I creative. And I can guarantee you're not at your best when you're competitive. So let's dig in deeper in this video, because what I want to do is I want to talk about what makes you competitive. How do you get there? Like, how do you get stuck in that mindset? So I think that competitive natures come out when we are overwhelmed. When we're experiencing overwhelm or a feeling of not enough time, frustration, and it comes down to no leverage. A lack of leverage leads to overwhelm and frustration. If everything feels like it falls on your shoulders, you have to do everything, like literally everything in your business and your life and all this, everything is really just on you. You feel overwhelmed, you feel stressed out, you become competitive, because this is another way of saying you are living in survival mode. Okay? Survival mode, basically, you're living in that, think of an animal that's like cornered, by a predator. Like that's where you are. You're in that survival mode. You're in that instinct, that fight or flight, and you're always there unless you do something about it, okay? So living in that, and if you're into the, metaphysical, that sort of thing, you're living in your survival centers, your lower centers. You can't be creative if you're there, because creativity happens in the higher center. So your energy is stuck in the wrong place. You're focused on survival. You're not focused on creating, thinking, building, right? So how do we get out of survival? Okay? Survival mode, by the way, when you're in survival mode, you're not at your best, right? If you're stressed out, overwhelmed because you have no leverage and you're in survival mode, how do you behave, right? I can tell you right now, you're going to be just downright pissy with your staff. Are you going to be an inspiring employer, an inspiring leader? Are people going to want to follow you? I mean, think about your personal life. If you're coming home in that mode, are you good as a parent? Are you good as a spouse? Like, how do you come across? What's it like to sit across the table from you when you're in this mode? The good news is I'm going to show you how to get out of this mode, so don't worry. But you got to understand, like, this is a problem, right? This is basically just a grumpy existence, okay? That's the best way I can explain it. Just grumpy, you're miserable, you're done, you're just tired, right? This is the dentist who's just had enough, going through the motions. And if you're there, what kind of a team do you have, by the way? If you show up in this state, your team is a direct reflection. It's a mirror image of you. It's exactly what you put out. That's what you're getting back. That's what you're attracting around you. So if you're putting that out, you're getting that back. You're creating this. So how do you stop this nonsense? How do we stop this and just go here? Go here. How do we stop this competitive nonsense? How do you stop being competitive? How do you stop being in survival mode? So let's dig into that. The good news is there's a way to do it. There's a strategy around it, and I'm going to give you some really good tools to work on that right now. So if you don't have a pen and paper already, I suggest you grab one. So the first thing you can do to be creative, to be in an abundant state, to be happy, to be thrilled with where you are, excited with where you are and where your practice is going. The number one thing that I want you to do is to focus on gratitude, okay? You heard me say this before. Gratitude is the first place you need to be if you want to snap out of it. It shifts you from that survival competitive into creative in minutes, okay? In minutes. It doesn't take that long to do. And the cool thing is you can do this really, really quickly. Just simple mind tricks. All you have to do is literally just stop for a minute and just close your eyes and think for a minute each about 3 things that you're really grateful for in your life. And all of a sudden, like that, you're back in creative mode. Okay, that's how simple it is. It takes nothing to do. The number one time that I want you to do this is when you get to the office, before you walk in the door. In fact, this should be your first thing you do as part of your morning routine. If you don't have a morning routine, please see the Productivity Secrets material I've put together for you. That's where it all begins. If you master that first bit of the morning, and this is part of it, everything is going to be much, much better. If you don't do a morning routine structure, please do it, implement it. Worst case scenario, when you get to the office, 3 minutes in the parking lot before you get out of your car, go through this exercise, okay? 1 minute each, 3 things you're incredibly grateful for right now in your life. It will shift you completely out of that survival mode. Crap, I don't want to be here today, or I'm worried about this patient coming in, or whatever the deal is. You're going to walk in with a smile. You're going to have a different energy. Your team is going to be a reflection of that. It changes everything, okay? So the other time I want you to do this is before you get home, okay? So if you had a rough day at the office, before you go home and unload that crap on your family, stop again before you leave, or, optimally, as soon as you sit in your car before you go home. Again, 3 minutes is all it takes. Just snap yourself out of it, because you cannot be unhappy, miserable, grumpy, competitive, and grateful at the same time. It just doesn't work. There's that duality it's either or, okay? So it'll snap you out of it. So that's the first thing I want you to do. The second thing is to realize this, okay? And we've talked about this before, that your beliefs create your actions, which create your results, okay? You created where you are, okay? You created where you are. So if you're not happy with your results, check your beliefs, okay? You created it. Trust me, you did. This is how it works. Whatever you believe determines how you act. How you act determines what you get. Very simple. You created where you are. Now, the cool thing about this is it doesn't matter where things are right now. It doesn't matter what the truth is today. You are where you are. It matters what you believe you can be. What you believe you will be. And with enough work, you believe will create actions to get those results. You can change anything by understanding this very, very simple thing. The last thing is empowering beliefs. So if we're going to fix this, what are we going to put in here? Because this is the place where you change everything. You're not going to change your actions unless you change your beliefs. And if you don't change your beliefs, your actions are going to cause the results congruent with that. The place where you intervene is right here. So what beliefs do you plug into the system to get the desired actions which create your results? Let's talk about that. The first belief is that your success is your responsibility. It's your choice. You decide how successful you want to be and where you are going in your life, okay? If you don't choose that, it isn't just going to happen to you. If you're unhappy with where you are, the only person responsible for that is you, period, okay? Now, the second belief is you get what you give into life, okay? If you don't play all in, you don't get all out. Like it just isn't going to work. Another way of saying this is the window you give through is the window you receive through. So people who are more generous tend to get more. People who put in more energy tend to get more back. You get what you give in life, okay? Third belief, to have different, you must do different, right? This is, again, that, you know, the definition of insanity, thank you. You know, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, right? If you want to have different, you must do different. Your actions must be different to get different results. Same actions give you same results. Duh, right? Fifth belief, I will dream big in everything I do, okay? If you dream big in everything you do, you will create your future. You will develop beliefs that will have actions that lead to greater results than you even thought possible. Dream big in everything that you do. Don't dream small. Don't shoot low. Shoot for the sky. And, you know, affirmations are really important in this. And again, this is where that journaling comes in that I talk about. So very, very important. Next belief, fifth belief. You are here to serve your team and your patients. They are not here to serve you, and your patients are not, you're not entitled to treat them, okay? You're here to serve these people. That's how you need to look at this. I'm here to serve my patients and my team. So what does that mean? I'm here to grow my team, to make them better people, and if I do that, they will do better for me. We will all win at this game, right? I'm here to serve my patients. My patients aren't here because I deserve to have them here. They're here because they've, you know, gifted me with their presence, and therefore I must treat that as the gift that it is. Okay? Sixth belief. The past is wisdom. Okay? If you think about it, you have 2 or 3 things from your past that just keep flashing back in your mind, right? They just keep coming around. When you least expect it, boom, this thought from your past comes back. The way to kill that, because usually those are things that you haven't learned the lesson, which is why they keep coming back to you. Okay? Take the lesson out of it. Realize that your past, whatever happened to you, good, bad, or ugly, it's wisdom for the future. If you use it that way, when those thoughts come to you, you won't have that emotional charge that they bring. You'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that, and what I learned from it was this. All of a sudden now, when you think of that thing, that embarrassing moment, or whatever it happens to be that happened to you in the past, you won't have that emotional charge attached to it, because if you keep that alive, what happens is you think about that, it gives you that emotional charge, and it reinforces that neural pathway. Anything that has an emotional charge attached to it creates lasting memory. And so you want to get that stuff out of your mind. You get rid of the emotional attachment, okay? That's how you get rid of things in your past that have no business in your future. It's past. You can't do anything about it. So, moving on, the 7th belief. You must make an emotional connection with your patients and your team members, okay? If you want people to go to bat for you, then, you know, they really have your back. You must have an emotional connection with them. You must treat them. You must become friends with them. I don't mean have them to your house for dinner. I mean just they have to know that you care, okay? And the same thing with your patients. You must connect with them in some way, okay? Building rapport is very easy. I've shot an entire video about that. Please go watch that if you haven't, okay? That is basically all you need to know about creating an emotional connection. You have to have some kind of a tie, some kind of an affinity. People like them. If you're completely opposite, there's going to be no connection. You're going to have no case acceptance. You're going to have no trust and rapport. It's not going to be a good relationship, and you won't get referrals, and you won't have the success that you want. So again, you must make an emotional connection with staff and patients. 8th belief, it's an honor to be a dentist. Okay, some of you are going to have trouble with this one, okay, because the profession is challenging. A lot of you probably would say, gun to my head, I wouldn't do this again if I had the choice. Now, let me just take it back a minute, okay? Yes, I understand that the regulatory environment these days is BS on a good day. There's a lot of problems in the profession, but compared to other things you could be doing, this is a pretty damn good gig, okay? Dentistry is a really great way to build a life, a career, be financially free if you put it together the right way. Without systems, strategy, the things that we talk about, leadership systems, training and marketing, it's going to be a lot of grunt work, but luckily there's a system for that. So, it's an honor to be a dentist. You need to get up in the morning thinking, I'm so happy and grateful that I get to do what I do today versus, crap, I got to go to the office today. It's a totally different shift in mindset. And I tell you, when you start thinking, I'm happy and grateful that I get to do what I'm going to do today, you change your entire outlook, okay? So it doesn't matter where you are in your practice right now. And I know that some of you have been through some stuff in the profession over years. You just need to get that through your head, because if you can believe that, if you can make that part of who you are becoming, someone who is grateful to be a part of this profession, it will reward you immensely down the line, okay? There's just no other way around it. If you think every day, I hate what I do, I hate what I do, I hate what I do, okay? It's right there. So I love what I do, gets me more of what I want to do, okay? Ninth belief, I'm the best dentist in my town. Yeah, I know it sounds a little egotistical, but you need to have a bit of an ego to win in this game, okay? You need to have confidence, and you need to protect your confidence. If you're confident and you protect that confidence, you're going to be confident that your beliefs will come true. What you believe will come true. And you know what? Confidence is something that really multiplies this, okay? And the last empowering belief that I want you to have is your team wants to succeed, despite what state your team is currently in, okay? If it's a bunch of newbies, if you've had turnover, if you feel like they're just, they all suck and are incompetent, trust me, those people want to succeed. No one gets up in the morning saying, I want to fail, okay? They are a reflection of you. Your team wants to succeed. They just need a leader to help them do it, okay? You got to take them from wherever they are and dust them off and train them, coach them, grow them into what you want. I know that's not the easiest, which is why we teach you our hiring process. Start with the best you can find. But what you got is what you got. They want to do well. Treat them as though they want to do well. We give you all kinds of processes to incentivize, to train, to level up your team. Over time, if you really believe that, they will grow. But it's got to come from you as the leader, inspiring them to do so, okay? So with those empowering beliefs, gratitude, understanding this cycle, which really just governs everything in your life, and those 10 empowering beliefs, I think that you can snap yourself out of a competitive survival mode anytime you want. So anytime you feel like you're there, anytime you feel like that agitation is coming into your life, like you feel stressed, like you've got an uncomfortable thing you're about to do or you have to deal with, or you've had a tough day and now you've got to go home and have energy for your family, go here, okay? This will solve that. And if you can solve this, I guarantee you it's going to change everything. If you start living in an elevated state, your practice life, your personal life will change, okay? You will create exactly what you want. It's just going to take some time, some hard work, some intentional effort on your part, but you will move mountains by doing that. I guarantee you this is the hardest part to get down, but if you can master this, the rest is just technique, right? 20% technique, 80% mindset for success, okay? I can guarantee that's how it's going to play out for you. If we can get this down, the rest is easy, okay? Cool. I hope you enjoyed that. please take some time to put this into practice. I hope you made notes. If you didn't watch it again, you should. Share it with your team, by the way, because I think your team members can learn a lot from this as well. So hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you guys next week.